If you're over the age of 50 and are trying to find a job during this pandemic, founder and CEO of Tag Recruitment Group and author Sheila Musgrove is here with tips that can help. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
This is a big issue with the circumstances that many people are finding themselves in. So speaking with about the 50-plus crowd, first of all, how do you overcome conceptions that come with age, and how do you address those on the job front?
Great question. First of all, there's so many age giveaways that you can avoid, and everyone does these crazy mistakes. First of all, make sure your email address does not have your year of birth in it. Everyone does that, and that's a big old giveaway. So we don't want to do that. Secondly, you don't want to lead with lines like 30 years of experience. Don't do that. The other big mistake people make, which are dead giveaways on age, is going back to the beginning of time on your resume. So don't.
Okay, what's the cutoff?
Yeah, the cutoff. That's a great question. The cutoff is 15 years, 10
Okay.
maximum 15 years. Don't go back to the 90s. We all love the 90s and the 80s, and we don't want to go back that far.
Now, an important thing here, too, again, with the pandemic, there's going to be gaps for many people. How do you address gaps in the resume?
Great question. Life happens. Pandemics happen. Things that will take us away from our careers. So hiring managers and recruiters, we like to see current dates on a resume. But that, let's face it, that can't always happen. So you might have been laid off prior to the pandemic. Something might have happened in your life at that point. So rather than leaving an old date, let's say 2019 was the last time you worked, don't leave an old date. Rather, put a placeholder on your resume. So think of using one of these words, the word sabbatical, the words caregiver responsibility, career pivot, or maybe it's caregiver or out-of-country responsibilities. And then put that on your resume and do a start and to present, just as you would with any other position. And of course, you're going to have to explain in an interview what you mean by the word sabbatical, for example, but it's going to get you one step closer to an interview.
Okay, now the traditional resume is kind of out the window. I'm actually looking at your book behind you, and one of the points in the book is that most resumes fail within 11 seconds. That's how long you've got.
Isn't that crazy? 11 seconds. And in the high unemployment rate that we're in at the moment in various parts of the country, it's probably even less than 11 seconds. So the traditional resume that everyone writes, which is 2 or 3 pages of bullets that describe your functional job responsibility, that doesn't work. And it doesn't do you any favors in making an interview easy either. So in my book, I wrote a 2-step resume formula that makes you easily noticed and makes an interview an absolute breeze. And it's focused on results. And it answers, and here's the crazy thing, when we walk into an interview and a hiring manager says to you, tell me about your current position or tell me about previous, they leave you with that question. But here's the crazy thing. They're actually looking for the answer to 5 questions, but they don't ask them. So the formula that I write answers those 5 questions, which are: what level did you report to? What is or was your job? What's your scope? How many other people did what you did? And ultimately, were you successful? So that's the formula that will absolutely get you noticed in amongst all of those other resumes, and it absolutely will get you more than 11 seconds.
Yeah, and short and sweet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you impressed us inside of 11 seconds. We'll link up your socials and websites so people can get the book hired. Thank you so much for joining us, Sheila Musgrove, CEO of Tag Recruitment.
Thank you.